So taking a few moments to adjust your position so that you can sit comfortably, ideally with the spine upright and the shoulders relaxing, just throwing off any tension by rolling the shoulders back and then letting them drop down behind, just rolling off the tension. And grounding, first of all, with an awareness of this body. Notice any sensations that you may be experiencing in the body. There may be comfort or discomfort. Notice any sensations on the skin. Or perhaps sensations deep inside the body or in the joints, the muscles, the bones. And just accept whatever is there without any resistance. And notice the sounds now through the ears, hearing the soundscape that is close to you and further away. Just exploring that soundscape for a few moments. Who is listening? I am. Notice the I am as awareness, listening. Notice any aroma in the nostrils. Notice the I am smelling as awareness itself. Now allowing awareness to expand beyond the limit of the skin and the physical body. Aware of the atmosphere. The room, the house, the garden around the house. Allowing awareness to be unbound, unattached to any particular sensation or noticing. experiencing awareness itself as a sense of being, without an object, without a subject, without attachment. Free. Thought may arise and pass. Sensation may arise and pass. But the attention is on the space of being, the awareness of the aware presence. And then beginning to localize that aware presence again into this body, this vehicle. Noticing that as awareness is strong in this vehicle, that the bodily sensations through which we experience life are stronger. The sense of touch, taste on the tongue, aroma in the nostrils, sight when the eyes are opened, and the hearing through the ears, the noticing. The aware presence is the only unchanging aspect. The witness of all of this through this body vehicle. Taking some deep grounding breaths. And just bringing our hands to our heart, just to remind ourselves of the blessing of this experience we call life through a body, and the unfolding universe in each moment, and the miracles that arise throughout our day, throughout our life, which create incredible blessings in each flower, in each bird, in each breath, in each smile, in each connection. Namaste. And life is experienced as we know it through this body vehicle and through the senses, through touch and taste and hearing and sight. And mind, thought arises, thought passes. And feelings, emotions are ignited. They rise and they fall and they pass. All of these experiences through the senses, through mind, through emotion, are transient. They arise and they pass. So why is it that we identify so strongly with the mind, with the mental patterns, with the emotions that rise and fall? Why is it that we forget the I am that I am? We forget that we are the awareness having this wondrous experience of all these arisings and passings. And the only unchanging element is the I am presence. The only unchanging element is the awareness itself. The witness without judgment, without expectation. The silent witness. And it can be difficult to maintain this. This morning I woke up and there was pain in the leg. There was discomfort and stiffness in an ankle that used to have lovely mobility. And I wasn't comfortable in this body. I was grateful for the body, but it certainly was not a comfortable fit. And so then a few emotions arrived and I saw that too. And that passed as well. It's the unchanging element that is our freedom. It is the spirit that dwells within all of this. And there are so many words we can use for it. We could call it love. We could call it awareness. We could call it the silent, calm and peaceful witness. But this one unchanging element, if we can maintain an acknowledgement and awareness of this, and notice that everything else is just the passing clouds, the passing landscape, as if you're driving through a landscape, and many things, you pass houses and bikes, and particularly I can just imagine myself now in India, and there's the rickshaws, toot 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 toot, and an elephant passing by, and a bullock cart passing by, and a few cows wandering over the road. All this is happening. The landscape is ever changing, but it is the one unchanging element. The I am presence, which is peace itself, which is calm. And we forget this. And we jump on the thought train and we go from thought to thought to thought to thought. And we fall into the emotions. It's good to acknowledge feelings as they arise. Acknowledge them, meet them. It's like this morning. Okay, this body sucks right now. It's uncomfortable. Allow that and then allow it to go, because it's just a passing experience. It's not who I am. I am not this body. I am not these thoughts. I am not the sensations, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant. I am not the highs, and I am not the lows. This is so important for us if we truly wish to live in love and in peace. Where is our identification? Whenever we find that we are suffering, we have resistance, ask ourselves, where is my identification right now? Is it with the drama of the ever-changing landscape of life? Or is it in the unchanging, peaceful presence of awareness? So I'll pass over to you guys now. If you have anything you'd like to share or ask or inquire together about.
Thank you. I was wondering about the notion that we're in this body mind to experience the multitude of things that happen on this journey. And I was just thinking about how sometimes we can be deeply attached to people, especially people that are close to us, and watching them suffer sometimes is very hard to do. To witness someone you dearly love and care for, and how we can best help those people by not being too emotionally engaged. I wonder if you could talk a little bit around that, perhaps. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. When we love someone and care about that person, the best thing we can do for that person is not to fall into their drama. Remembering that pain is universal in the human, on that human level, and that we are all here to have a human experience. Yet if we can hold the space of presence that's unbiased, not judgmental, but yet also not adding to a drama, it's very important, if we truly want to help someone, simply to be present. Our presence is really all that is required. To be open, receptive, clear awareness. And it is in awareness that thought passes, emotions pass, all the dramas that go with thought and emotion pass. Sensations are experienced, etc., etc. And if the background of awareness is clear and held as the truth of who I am, then everything will simply pass through quite clearly and quite quickly. But as soon as we add to a drama, or we feed a drama, or we feed an emotion with thought, and then we are continually jumping from thought to thought, and then that propels emotion, which carries on to more thought, then we are lost. We are lost in that experience, which we call ultimately suffering. Or it could be an experience of going high and feeling elated. But as high as that may go on that human separate self level, it will then come low and lead to a depression often afterwards, or an expectation that that should continue. So from the point of view here, I would see simply holding space that is neutral, loving and open, but never feeding the drama that's unfolding or the happening that's unfolding. But also not, sometimes people don't want, unless they ask, they don't want solutions either. They don't want it to be perhaps made better unless they ask. So again, in that holding space, you're not trying to change anything. Just being an open, neutral, loving space for someone to have that experience and let it pass through quickly can be very powerful, actually. Very powerful. Because as soon as we come in and we try and fix something, we're adding a different dimension to that drama. Of course, it's different if someone needs therapy. You know, they've got a broken leg and they do need that plastered or fixed. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about emotional dramas. But feeding them, you feed the beast and the beast will roar. Does that help? Is that where you wanted to go with that, Girish?
That's very helpful what you shared, actually. Thank you.
I was interested in what you said about some people need therapy, like if it's a broken leg. If I'm just thinking about somebody that might not be, you know, if it's an emotional sort of mental issue. What are your thoughts on therapy for or because I guess, you know, whether it's physical or emotional, the brokenness can be, it can be major or it can be minor. It's still a brokenness sometimes.
Yeah, I hear you, Sarah, and you know, sometimes the electrical currents in the brain can sometimes be so damaged that mental health is challenging. I have a client at the moment actually who had a complete breakdown and is bipolar and schizophrenic and other things. But she comes to me because she says to me, Saraya, I know that I am love. And I know that everyone thinks I'm crazy. But I know that I am love. And even in her impossibility to live a normal life at this stage, we can meet on quite a profound level beyond the broken circuits in her brain. And her body has suffered as well. So I give her yoga therapy and we connect as if on that level. Yet she's unable to live alone. She has to have a carer. And she is medicated. So yes, sometimes the damage, whether that's from a breakdown or from drug use or whatever, can be to the degree that there's no longer functionality in what we would call normality. But there are the human spirit, or the I am presence, is in that sort of damaged mind sometimes very difficult to reach, or perhaps impossible during the lifetime. And there are other times where therapy can be helpful, depending on the type of therapy. So many therapies simply keep going into the story, and it's reinforcing the story. And it's all the stories we tell ourselves that needs to be let go of. You know, they need to be released. The story that I am sick, the story that I am. Well, I am presence. The body may be uncomfortable. The body may have pain. This body has pain. The imbalance caused by, you know, walking on a boot for 3.5 months has caused pain in other parts of the body. But the I am presence is untouched by that. But I notice that awareness sometimes is tainted by a little noticing, you know, some emotion arising occasionally, feeling the frustration of not being able to walk. But I see that passes too, because that's not who I am. I'm just using myself as an example there. But there are so many, many different brokennesses, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally or emotionally. But if there is awareness that can still cognize, then if we can truly understand that I am not limited to this body and the functionality of this body, that I am not my thoughts or the thoughts that are passing through. We call them my thoughts. They're not my thoughts, they're thought. Thought is a stream that is, it will continue. But whether we give it our attention and our awareness constantly or not, is a different thing. We are emotional beings, being human. Emotions will arise. But they will also pass if allowed to, if we don't feed them. I do believe if there can be cognition and understanding, then there can be healing. But true healing and true freedom comes from this recognition. My Father and I are one. We're not a drop in the ocean. We are the ocean. Peace is not a destination. It's available now. We don't necessarily have to work hard. Perhaps if we stop working and drop into presence. We are always talking about the spiritual path. And you know, I've used that term loosely myself, but when we really examine some of the terms that we use, we are spirit. This is it. The freedom we seek is here now. Your thoughts, Sarah?
Yeah, I just what's occurring to me is the question of, because I've heard different perspectives on this about being about hope and being with and you know, being just loving awareness around suffering is I guess a way of being. But I've heard different perspectives on the role of hope, and I wonder what your you know, what the thoughts are on that. Because hope is, it's almost like hope is something that it kind of is projected into the future, so it takes away from the present, from acceptance of the present, because it's not accepting the present. There's something about hoping something for the future.
Yeah, you're right. The word hope, it's a lovely word, but when you really actually examine that word, I hope means I'm not happy with life as it is right now. I want it to change. So there's a lack of acceptance of life as it is now. And, you know, for some people, life can be, imagine, you know, if you're hit by a bus, your whole body's crushed, you're a paraplegic, you know, all you can do is, you know, swallow. Then that's a huge challenge. You know, I think of Superman. I can't remember his real name now, but you know, the actor who played Superman, and all he could do was swallow, and he had to even speak through just having a microphone here. And the work that he did, the amazing work, he lived on and did amazing work till his death. Everything has its place or it wouldn't exist. Consciousness is experiencing everything. So if someone feels they want to go and have therapy, then that is what will happen. And there is a place for everything. But what we're talking about here is living as freedom. And when you look at all the people you know, how many of those wonderful people, friends, family, extended family and friends, how many of them have a burning desire to be united with love, God, freedom, peace? How many of them put that burning desire first in their life? Well, I think we have well over nearly 2,000 people on our mailing list. Everyone has an opportunity to come to this satsang for free. How many of those people have turned up? I think it's a bit similar to the number of people that you know, and how many of them have a burning, for me, this is it. Life is peace, freedom, love. Without that burning to be one, to be united, to be not just this body, to be love as fully and wholly as can shine through here. That comes before anything else in life. That comes before family, but yet it is all of that. Because it is there for family, it is there for my loved ones, it is there for my partner, it is there for the garden, it is there for the forests, it is there for the oceans, it's there for everything. But that one thing, it seems like it's as narrow as a pinhole, as small as a mustard seed, as some of the masters say. But yet once that pops, everything is available. So how many people do you know that have that burning desire? I remember when I went to live in the ashram and took sannyas, initially that I thought that was my path, because that desire when I was 20 was so strong already. Now, 40 years later, that has not changed. An understanding of what that is and the experience of that has changed. But that desire has always been alive here. And when that is alive, you have that experience of the living experience. So yes, if I want to be well adapted in life and have a nice life and a nice family and you know, get along and have a good career, and that's all that I want to experience, to achieve that therapy. But for me, for this freedom, the therapy is in the moment of recognition. Who am I now? Whoa, so sorry, Sarah. That's, yeah, okay. It's a tough line, but that's what this is about. So, yeah. And it leads to love. It leads to freedom. It leads to beauty. It leads to us, one of us here now.
I just had this, and I don't know whether this is, but a thought just moved through, and I'm wondering about hope, because I'm just wondering if hope is just an aspect of love. It's about a knowing that all things are possible. So in that in that way, in that interpretation, it is also very much present. If it's part of a love, I don't know, that's just something that's just moved through my.
And that's words are interesting, aren't they? Because we can open up a word like hope, for instance, and first of all we saw that word could mean I'm not happy with the experience now, so I want to project hope into a future. But hope also has a lightness to it. It has a brightness to it. It's like a light that's burning, and it's calling to the spirit as well, isn't it? So words are strange things, and we try and experience or put the universe's experience down into a word, but that's not such an easy thing to do, is it? And I've always actually liked the word hope. But again, we can look at things from so many different angles. Should we limit all the dimensions of life to a single angle? And in the same way, should we limit any word to a single perception when we are multifaceted beings, and this is a multifaceted experience. It's a holographic universe. Yeah. A lovely light on the word there, Sarah. Beautiful.
So we've had plenty of time to try and work it all out. And if we look at the tools that we have at our disposal to try and work it out, how to move into a space of love, of acceptance, all we have is our past experience. So how do we get this experience of living beyond the known, beyond all that past, beyond the stories, beyond all the past experience, beyond the safety of, or the apparent safety of repetition? So how do we get that feeling of success, of yes, I'm actually getting somewhere here? Well, we have to just go into the space, into the emptiness, abandon all control, and just see what happens. It's a big step, and it's a fearful step to take. But if we take it once, and then we look around and think, wow, oh, that was okay. I'm still here. That was all right. We can do it again. It's like if you blink all the thoughts away. Blink and go blank. Call it blanking. So blink, just go empty, and see if everything stops. See if everything goes into chaos or not. Find out. Find out if everything is still working okay. Once we've had a few of those experiences, we get a bit more confident about it, to let go of trying to explain it, trying to move in a safe world of knowing. To live outside of certainty, because that's the place of awareness. Awareness is just witnessing a flow of creation. And to actually experience that, which is what we're trying to sort of talk about it as though it's an experience, but it's not an experience as such, not in the sense that we normally understand that word. It's standing outside of knowledge. Not that knowledge is not still operating. The whole process is still happening. The whole process of recognition is still happening. Knowledge has its place in the area of functioning in this reality. So we need that experience, like a child learns through doing things. You don't learn through somebody telling you what is. In fact, we think that's learning, but actually all we're doing is accumulating more and more knowledge. But to actually experience being safe, we have to be willing to let go of the ideas of what safety is. If I want to move beyond myself, I have to let go of myself. And the big question is, do we have the courage to take that step? Just one step, entering into just to go blank. It's not a question of being catatonic. It's just wiping clean, the window clean, boom, like that. Is it okay? Yes, it's still okay. Okay. Do it again until it becomes a continuous process and it becomes just a natural way of living. Of being a part from and a part of at the same time.
Are you finished, Terry?
Yep.
Just to be clear, the awareness as aware presence that we're referring to here is unconditioned awareness. We have conditioned awareness, which is awareness through the lenses or the glasses of our own conditioning. So our perception is modified by the conditioned mind and emotional makeup. The awareness, which is aware of the perception, so awareness of awareness, this is the unconditioned awareness. Awareness that is no longer conditioned and was never conditioned. Aware presence, consciousness itself, was and is not conditioned by the patterns and the colored glasses through which we perceive and experience the world. The unconditioned awareness is the same as the unconditioned awareness experienced in our childhood, in our teenage years, and on throughout life. This is the pure, clear awareness. And I think it helps to start noticing how our awareness is so conditioned. I think everyone here, we've talked about that, haven't we? How we notice at times that our awareness is, we are perceiving through the conditioning and the conditioned patterns here. And as we begin to see through those patterns and drop them, we come back to the unconditioned witness of all of this. So it's that time again for Satsang to end. Sending you all a great big virtual hug. Much love. And we'll see you next Sunday. Namaste.